Chapter 4 Chocolate Machines. It wasn't until inventors came up with a steam engine that things changed. Suddenly, lots of goods could be made more easily, including chocolate. Factories were set up all over Europe, and turning cocoa beans into chocolate drinks became big business. Before long, the drink had stopped being just a handmade treat for the rich. Hooray, cheap chocolate! A cup a day keeps the doctor away. In 1847, an English chocolate maker, Francis Fry, decided that there could only be one thing better than drinking chocolate. And that was eating it. His problem was how to turn chocolate paste into solid balls. In Holland, Coenrod Dan Horton provided half the answer. He invented a press that separated chocolate paste into brown cocoa powder and yellow cocoa butter. Fry noticed that cocoa butter hardened as it cooled. Maybe I can use that to make solid chocolate, he thought. He stirred one cocoa butter into his chocolate paste, added 3 scoops of sugar, poured the mixture into square tubs, and waited. Slowly, it went hard. Fry had invented the world's first chocolate ball. In no time, factories were making balls of rich, dark chocolate. They called it delicious chocolate to eat. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, there lived a candle maker named Daniel Peter. But candles were going out of fashion and he was losing money. When he fell in love with the chocolate maker's daughter, he had a brilliant idea. I'll make chocolate instead. By now, there was lots of competition in the chocolate business. Peter needed to make his ball special. He tried adding milk, but that made the chocolate too runny. Peter was stuck. Luckily, Henry Nestle lived next door and he knew a lot about food. Nestle earned his living making baby food. He soon found a way to thicken Peter's chocolate mix. Are you sure about this? In 1883, Peter won a gold medal for his new creamy chocolate recipe. Milk chocolate was a hit. Chapter 5 Tasty Inventions. By the 20th century, people had learned how to make milk chocolate smoother, creamier, and even more tasty. We still use the same methods today. First, the chocolate mixture is put through heavy rollers to squeeze out every lump. Then an enormous vat invented by Rodolphe Sling is used to blend the mixture into a smooth, velvety paste. The chocolate is cooled and warmed until it has a glossy shine. Finally, it is poured into trays to set. For years, eating chocolate was only made in solid balls, but Milton Hershey, an American chocolate maker, thought balls were boring. In 1907, he tried squirting glossy chocolate into little peaks. When the peaks hardened, he wrapped each one in foil to make them look more exciting. I'll call them kisses, then everyone will want one. It wasn't long before factories were making chocolates in all shapes and sizes. The next challenge was to mix chocolate with other scrumptious ingredients. In 1912, an American candy maker called Howell Campbell was feeling adventurous. He stirred peanuts, caramel, and marshmallows into glossy melted chocolate. Then he spun gooey blobs of the mixture into a tray. As the chocolate set, the blobs hardened and Campbell took his first bite. It's delicious and gooey. He called his invention the Goo Custard. It was one of the first mixed chocolate snacks and an instant success. That same year, a Belgian chocolate maker, Jean Newhouse, made another leap in chocolate history. He invented hard chocolate shells that could hold soft fillings. After stuffing them with a creamy, nutty mix, he filled them up with more chocolate. From then on, there was no stopping the chocolate makers. Silky caramel, chewy toffee, nutty almonds, creamy vanilla, you name it, they added it. Factories churn out hundreds of different chocolate snacks, while smaller companies made amazing chocolates by hand. Chapter 6. Chocolate Families. Some of today's chocolate companies are gigantic, but most of them began as small family business. In 1824, John Cadbury opened a shop in England, along with tea and coffee. He sold his own drinking chocolate. It was so popular, Cadbury set up a cocoa and chocolate factory. Now Cadbury's drinks and chocolate bars are sold across the globe. In 1911, Frank and Ethel Moss set up a business in America selling homemade buttercream candies. Their big break came in 1923 when Frank invented a malted milk chocolate bar. He made a fluffy, malty nougat, topped it with caramel, and coated it in milk chocolate. Then, in 1941, his son Forrest developed another sweet idea: sugar-coated chocolate drops that wouldn't melt in your hand. An American named Bruce Murray gave Moss some money for the project, so they called for their new chocolates and announced, "Here's to Moss and Murray!" Today, you can buy the Moss family's chocolates almost anywhere in the world, and they are nothing like the Mayans' bitter drink. When the Mayans first caught a whiff of rotting cocoa beans, they knew they had found something exciting, but they had no idea how popular chocolate would become. The end.